Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Let me introduce you to the top table. From the left-hand side there is co-chairman Mike Garlick. Right-hand side here, co-chairman John Draskovic. In the middle, obviously, new manager Sean Dyche. Mike's going to start off by saying a few words and load it to the floor, if that's okay.
Right, well, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Turf Moor, Burnley. Thanks for coming along today. We've got our new manager that we've just appointed after an extensive search, Sean Dyche, with us. So I think basically an extensive search has been carried out the last few weeks by all the board. We've interviewed thoroughly, extensively. What were the qualities we were looking for in a manager? We wanted a winner. We wanted someone that was hungry, ambitious, organised and talented. And I think in Sean we've got someone that's got all these qualities. So if I can hand over to the floor, if you want to have any questions for myself, Sean or John, over to you guys.
Sean, you're live on BBC Radio Lancashire. Welcome to Lancashire. How excited are you about getting going?
We're very excited. I mean, I've managed to get going somewhat with the players, but obviously you want to get going on Saturday. Big game for us, but the players have been very responsive, so I've enjoyed that immediately and enjoyed the welcome I've had so far.
Yeah, you watched the game last Saturday. As you say, you've had a couple of training sessions. What's been your impression of the players here at Burnley?
Well, they've been receptive to realign into the way we want things doing. I don't think there'll be radical change. There'll be a change in culture for sure, which will instill over them gradually. But we're given an immediate feel of that and what we think is appropriate to move the club forward, because that's my aim.
Yeah, is it slightly unusual because you take over a club that perhaps is not struggling as sometimes is the case when you take over a new job?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's still there's a slight transition, obviously a change of manager, but we want to be flexible in our thinking. We want to add to, because there's some good things here. You know, they're a team that's scoring freely. Unfortunately not doing as well defensively, so like I say, it's more about being flexible and adding to, not taking away, to move us forward.
And in terms of this appointment, I guess, why Burnley?
Why not? Fantastic club. You know, a club like Burnley phone you and you take it seriously. You know, as the gentleman said, both of them know that we went through an extensive situation to get me here, amongst other managers. But a fantastic club, and when I got the good news, then the decision was immediate. You know, people were sort of suggesting I went home to think about it. Absolutely not. It was just the usual things that I's need dotting, T's need crossing to make sure it gets over the line. That's all it was. So absolutely delighted to be at such a good club.
And just a final one from me, one for John and from Mike, just kind of further emphasise, why is Sean the man for the job, do you think?
Well, I'd like to say that certainly we're only about 25% into the season, so it's a good time for the catalyst for change. And I think basically Sean ticked all the boxes. You know, as I said, he's got hunger, he's got passion, he's got discipline, and I think his voice is a bit hoarse today, probably because he's been shouting at the players, right? But I think he ticks all the boxes. Plus, he's got a background in youth and development, and it's part of our vision. You know, going forward as a club, we want to kind of implement that.
Sean, 5 points off the top, 5 points off the bottom. What's the ambition?
Well, certainly to look upwards. You know, I'm a great believer that we play to win. I've mentioned that to the players now. Of course, you've got another team out there trying to stop that from happening. So it's easy to say, not always easy to do. But a winning mentality is something I believe in, and we'll be instilling that with the players. They all have it. It just needs reigniting sometimes and reaffirming to them. So that's a given, the way I work. But there's plenty of different processes that I want to put in place here. You know, what you see on the pitch, of course, is vital, but there's a lot of stuff we want to do off the pitch which will help the business and the football club in general.
As a former central defender, 29 goals conceded must cause you sleepless nights already?
Well, not necessarily, because I haven't had a chance to work with them yet. It would do if it was under my watch, but it's not yet. So, no, it's a reality of the division. It's a tough division. It's a topsy-turvy division, and you know, I actually asked the players for feedback. One of the first things I believe in is finding out what they're thinking. So we had an honest and open feedback sort of idea of offering them a questionnaire and saying, put down freely what you think. By no shock to anyone, they know the answers, they know what they've got to do, and now it's about working to deliver it.
2 big games in December, one that you have to win against Blackburn and one I guess you'd love to win against Watford.
Well, I think the one against Blackburn speaks for itself. I'll learn about the culture and the fabric of the club as I go. I've experienced playing here, so I know the atmosphere can be fantastic here, and we can make it a real fortress. Of course, the Blackburn thing speaks for itself. I'll learn more about that, but it's there. The Watford thing, no interest in it, never have. I've played against many of my old teams. It's business. 3 points, that's all I'm interested in.
Okay.
Sean, given the sort of unusual circumstances that you left Watford in, were you itching to get back into management straight away, or is it a case of just taking stock for a couple of months?
No, I mean, I was probably, I wouldn't say rare because it does happen, but I was obviously ready and raring. There wasn't. Some managers sometimes need a time of reflection and to think about it. No, I used that time wisely, of course. People know I had a little spell with England at 21s, not working with them as such, as often been printed, but offering advice and opinion and being asked for that advice and opinion, looking at what they do inside. A few leadership things that we've been doing and working on, a few ideas of our own that we've been working on. But I was fresh, ready to go, so I didn't need that rest. It just came because sometimes business changes.
Sean, what's the players' response to your new appointment?
I think it's been really positive so far, certainly by the visual on how they've been training. That's the biggest thing for me, to earn the respect of the players. I don't believe you just walk into a club and it becomes your club. You have to earn that right, and that's with the fans as well. You have to earn the right. You have to show them what you're about. You have to show them through the team what you're trying to instill and what you're trying to do, because obviously the team speaks volumes for what you're trying to do. But things like today make them quite aware of how I conduct myself, what I think's appropriate, and the thing they'll get for sure is honesty and hard work. There'll be two things that I believe in the team and in the performances.
Just a question for either Mike or John, if I could. Have you set Sean a target for this season?
Well, I think deep down we want to improve on last season. I think we finished 13th. So first step is to get above that. But before that, I guess, like Sean says, try and stop shipping the goals as much as possible. And hopefully if we can do that and carry on scoring, we'll move up that table.
Is the problem here that the fans have had that taste of the Premier League and they know what it's about?
I think, whether you're in the Premier League or the Championship, fans just want you to win on a Saturday. That's the key. And that's what we want to get back to, particularly here at Turf Moor, where our home record in the last year hasn't been good at all, let's be honest. So if we can improve that, we'll get the fans back.
And we came 13th. Watford actually came 11th. They beat us by 2 points, by 2 places. So I think we've got to obviously set a target. We've got to do better. And I think we've got the ingredients and the talent in the team. And I think one of the key reasons why we appointed Sean was he can get the best out of players, which I think we can do.
Is his best chance of success hanging on to Charlie Austin?
No, I think it's a team thing, but obviously nice picture, but it's a team thing, but obviously Charlie just banging them in, and obviously as Mike said, we're conceding a lot in the back, so we've got to work strategically at the back to see that we don't let that many in. It's a wonderful record in terms of scoring goals.
But the more he bangs them in, the more people are going to suggest that he might be on his way in January.
Well, we will do our best to keep him, and obviously that's the key part of our team right now, and we'll do our best to keep him.
I think the flexibility within the squad's important. We need to find the joy in between the attacking prowess, which has been evident at times, but finding that nice balance between the framework that the players know is productive in stopping the opposition from scoring. So that's the immediate challenge, if you like, and within that, to bring a more competitive edge consistently. Because looking at Burnley and playing against them, of course, there's been a bit of an up and down period of lots of wins, no wins, lots of wins, no wins. So it's that competitive streak, but on a consistent basis, week in, week out. Teams come here, we go to their place. They know they're in for a game.
I think you've got to remember as well, with Sean and his track record as a player, he did win 4 promotions with 4 different clubs. And I think at most of those he was captain as well. So we believe we've got a real winner here.
I think the thing is that, to add to that, it's partly on reflection of my own career, but I've had 8 out of 10 years, 8 out of the last 10 years, I should say, in the Championship. Whether it's as a player, as a youth coach, developing players on their pathway into the first team, whether it's as an assistant manager, helping guide the manager to get the best out of what we've got, and then as a manager. So, I think I've got a feel for what the whole club needs, not just what the team needs. But of course, I'm not naive enough to think that out there comes first. We need to get that right. We need to get it more efficient, stopping one end and going in the other. Sometimes it's as simple as that.
I think one point to add to that is that you've been quite loyal. You know, he's been basically at Watford pretty much for all his managerial career, from the youth right through to the assistant manager, the manager. We've had 3 different managers at Burnley Football Club in the last 3 years. So one of the things which struck us also about Sean, he has that kind of loyalty side to him, and obviously we want to build that kind of vision and strategy going forward for the next couple of years. So we don't want to chip and change all the time. We want somebody here to stay and build Burnley.
Yeah, and one of the first questions Sean asked me at the interview was, how do you build links with the community? And I think at Burnley Football Club we all know it's a community club, and so someone just with that outlook and that approach to the club and how it interacts with the community is absolutely vital for us here in Burnley, and we think that is part of Sean's pedigree.
So as I suggested, you have to earn the right to be part of the fabric of the club, not just as manager. The feeling amongst the people, how that connects to the club, and that's a massively important thing. The more noses you can get pointing in the right direction, the more powerful the club becomes. Not just the manager, not just the teams. I'm very much a club thinking person. I don't overbrand myself. I overbrand the club. What can we do as a club? And that's an important part of it. How can the club move forward both on and off the pitch?